Mr. Speaker, back to the Premier. This government created this mess. They're about solving problems. They created the problem. This is their legacy. They're the ones that put Ontario in this hydro mess. And I know they're trying to put a spin that this is not as bad as it appears. This $4 billion is not as bad as it appears. But it is. Mr. Speaker, just listen to what the Auditor General had to say. She said the scheme would be unacceptable in the private sector, and we maintain that it is also unacceptable in the public sector. She continued that if the consolidated financial statements are so unreliable that an adverse opinion is warranted, terms like balanced budget, deficit, asset, and net debt will be meaningless under this government. The reality is they fudged the numbers. The numbers are an absolute.
You have to withdraw.
Withdraw.
John?
The numbers do not add up. The numbers are an absolute scam. So, Mr. Speaker, how can the Premier defend her Minister of Finance? She's here defending the Minister of Energy, but how can you stand in the House and defend the Minister of Finance when the numbers are not believed by anyone, including the Auditor General?
Be seated, please. Minister of Education will come to order. Premier. Mr. Treasury Board.
Yes, thank you very much. Speaker, our government, our cabinet made a very simple decision. When we listened to the people, of Ontario who asked to have their hydro bills lowered, we decided that social programs should go on the tax base and that electricity should go on the rate base. Now, the leader opposite is claiming that somehow we made up the accounting rules. But let me tell—
Sorry. Stop the clock. I even forgot my own rule. The member from Stormont, Dundas, South Glengarry is warned. Carry on.
Rate-regulated accounting is the norm in the electricity sector. The Ontario OPG uses rate-regulated accounting. It has been approved by this and other auditors and continues to be. Hydro One uses rate-regulated accounting. It has.
The member from Bruce Grey Owen Sound is warned. Answer, please.
It has been Hydro One's rate-regulated accounting has been approved by this and all the other auditors general. The old Ontario Power Authority. I will.
Final supplementary. Leader.
Page 8 of the report reads, I quote, "The government's ongoing spending on private sector external advisors had exceeded $2 million when we completed this special report. The President of the Treasury Board holds the purse strings, and yet she allowed the government to spend millions on lawyers and consultants to try to hide the true state of the books." Mr. Speaker, that's not right. It's unacceptable, it's shameful, and it's disturbing. Mr. Speaker, can the Premier tell us if the President of the Treasury Board still has her confidence when clearly it's not the opposition saying you made up the rules, it's the Auditor General? How can the Premier still have confidence in her President of the Treasury Board? It's shameful, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Be seated, please. Thank you. President, Treasury Board.
So let's continue to talk about the rules. The Ontario Power Authority, when it existed, used.
The member from Nepean Carleton is warned, inches away from being named. Carry on.
The Ontario Power Authority, when it existed, used rate-regulated accounting, which was approved by this and other auditors general. When OPA was consolidated into IESO, IESO decided it should use rate-regulated accounting for that part of the business, which came from OPA. It received a clean audit from their auditors. Now, let me tell you about other organizations like the IESO in North America. The equivalent organizations, Alberta, New York, Michigan, Texas, Midwest, Eastern Seaboard, and New England, have equivalents to IESO. They all use